I am the Queen of Zandalar, and a queen kneels to no one.
They should use their minds to save the world, instead of devising ways to tear it apart.
No, not while the Black Moon still cries out for vengeance. Not until the Horde has answered for its treachery.
The war is serving its purpose. Stay focused on the endgame. You know what is to come.
The two essential weapons of an adventurer. A bottle of good gin and a jar of tasty jam. This is Girls Gone WoW!
Hello, you are listening to Girls Gone WoW, show 676, recorded on Sunday the 22nd of February 2026. That felt like a lot of sixes, all of a sudden.
Sixes.
Yeah, lots of sixes. I'm your host Raven. With me I have my wonderful co-host EJ. How are you doing this week, my love?
Yeah, I'm alright. I managed to go out at least once this week and didn't get rained on, so that was an improvement.
Indeed. And we had noodles?
We did have, yes. So, yes, overall positive. I am on day 3 of a headache, so if I'm a little bit sort of discombobulated compared to normal, I do apologise. I have even, I've done that thing where I'm like, have you been drinking enough? Yes, I have drunk enough, and, things that aren't going to dehydrate you, and I've done all of that. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the weather. I don't know if it's just life. Who knows? I am very much. I've got a week. I'm at work this week, and then I'm off for a week, and I'm really looking forward to that because last time I had some time off, I got the flu, and having the flu is not time off.
No.
I think I'm probably my batteries are a bit low. I think.
Yes.
So yeah, how are things with you, mate? My lovely friend.
Yeah, pretty busy. I've had a really busy week. I've got some stuff going on at work that's a bit stressful. I've got some stuff going on somewhere else that's a bit stressful. So I thought I was going to have a nice week last week of kind of nothing much to do in the evenings. And I ended up having to do a lot of stuff in the evenings, which was just a bit frustrating. But never mind, there we go. Such is life. This week should be, touch wood, not too much to do in the evenings. I'm hoping tomorrow might be a bit hairy. I've got a meeting at 5 p.m. tomorrow that could go on for a while. But I think it'll be a better week overall. So yeah, not bad. Apart from my hair-raising drive home yesterday in the dark in the rain on the M25. Surrounded by idiots who don't know how to drive their cars, and lots of slightly blue LED headlights. Really not helpful. Could do without that, actually. Anyway, here we are. We have got some interesting news for the week, and the biggest interesting piece of news for the week is that Midnight arrives. It arrives this week.
Yeah.
Early access for Midnight, after some discussion, where quite a lot of us got confused about how days of the week work and how time changes work. Early access for Midnight arrives in the European Union and in the UK at 11 p.m. on Thursday evening. Actually, it arrives in the European Union an hour out from that. Central European time's different from ours. But anyway, Thursday the 26th of February at 3 p.m. PST, 11 p.m. GMT, is the worldwide launch of the early access, and then it arrives for reals on Monday the 2nd of March at the same time, 3 p.m. PST or 11 p.m. GMT. Why does everything... why 3 p.m. PST? I know we've done that. We've done this literally now since the Mists of Pandaria. It's not like it's a fucking surprise. But I just I had in my calendar for ages, Midnight launches on Thursday. But functionally it doesn't for me because I'm not going to be awake at 11 p.m. It's stupid.
I mean, like sometimes, like you and I have like gone to see the initial quest, you know, but I don't know. It's just I don't know why it's. Is it because they want to be able to come into work and just all have a cup of tea together before they flick the switch or something? I don't know.
It's really weird. Like maybe like lunchtime. Could you not do it at like midday?
Yeah, no, maybe they have a big team lunch and they all get pizza and have a nice time and then they flick the switch together. I don't know.
I just, 3 p.m. local does give them enough time to prep stuff before activating, says Symes in the chat room, but I just, could you just not do it a couple of hours quicker? 1 p.m.
Why
would
not
be
2?
better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, it's fine. Anyway, 3 p.m. PST, 11 p.m. in the UK. If you have purchased the Epic edition of Midnight, you will have the early access. You will be in on Thursday night. No spoilers on our Discord channel, please. So we do have a spoilers channel for Midnight, so keep any of your early Midnight thoughts in our spoilers channel for a little bit.
Yeah. Please feel free to use the spoilers channel to put spoilers in, but that's the only place. Please, please, please.
Yeah.
Super. You're all very good at that. Actually, you're all very, very.
Yes, you are very good at that.
So Blizzard this week. Oh, Blizzard. Mwah, this was Chef's Kiss. This was.
It was. I watched this
so
actually.
good.
Yeah.
Blizzard dropped a new animated short this week on YouTube called "All That Is Sacred," which gave us a look into Lady Liadrin and how she became the paladin we know her as. I have never wanted to paladin as hard as I did after watching this. Oh my god. Oh, she's so awesome. And
yeah,
I also
it was really good.
So obviously for a long time we have run with a very amazing paladin tank.
We have.
Corin. And
in the chat room right now.
For years about his tea trays and the way he flings tea trays out. And
oh my god.
As I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, she's so cool, and I totally understand Corin a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, the animation when she sends out that shield. Oh, it was so good. If you have not watched it, it's just under 5 minutes long.
Yes.
You haven't got to dedicate a lot of time, but you are missing out.
Yes.
If you don't go and watch
the Captain America shield is very well represented in this animation. If you'd like some inspiration to play a paladin tank, then here you are. It's very, very good. Very, very good.
And Alonso's Fowl is in it as
Alonso's Fowl is in it, yeah.
I love any content that he's in. Oh, it's great. Please go and look at it. I will put an easy-to-click link in our show notes, or just go over to the Warcraft YouTube channel.
Yes, very, very good. Very, very good. Definitely worth 5 minutes of your time. Along with the other Zaltath short from the week before, which was only 3 minutes. So there's loads of really short form content dropping on the WoW channel. Yeah.
Just from the way that some of the wording happened around it, I get the suspicion this is the first of some to come. I just got the impression that it wasn't the only thing that was coming, so just keep an eye out for others.
I sort of suspect there'll be at least one more before the before Midnight drops. So we'll see. We could be wrong. In slightly more surreal news, Warcraft have teamed up with Zillow. So in the UK, we would call this website Zoopla. It is the property website that you go to find properties, or you might call it Rightmove. But I think Zoopla and Zillow are actually the same thing. So Warcraft have teamed up with Zillow at zillow.com/Warcraft to sell houses. They present a showcase for housing ideas, and you can claim the naturally elegant doormat housing decor item if you click the link on the site and link up your battle.net with Zillow. Please note, the decor item was delivered very quickly, and then you can head into authorized apps and remove the Zillow access so you won't lose the item. So you don't have to link it up for long. They're shipping homes like they're real property.
I suppose
it's quite funny.
Of the stuff that we saw at the London housing event.
It's the same thing.
It made all those things up. So, I mean, it's what I'm finding really funny about this is that there are some people so butthurt about this and butthurt about housing and anything that comes out, and you read the comments and they're just like, "Meh, meh, meh," and it's like, you don't have to have a house.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. It's totally fine. You could just ignore it.
Just ignore it.
Just
like,
ignore
some
it.
of us are finding this delightful, and it's fine for us to like it and you not to like it, but people are so butthurt about it, and it's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, some people have taken it extremely seriously.
Yeah. Good news. We all love a Twitch drop, don't we? Yes, we do. But what's better than one Twitch drop? 2 Twitch drops. Yay! So, WoW is partnering with Twitch. There's 2 different things that are happening. So they're doing something called Support a Streamer. Twitch viewers who gift 2 subs in any eligible streamer's channel who are Twitch partners or affiliates between February the 26th or March the 26th at the previous mentioned times, because they seem to be the times for everything.
Yeah.
So you have to gift 2 subs in somebody's channel who is sort of a WoW affiliate or partner. You will receive the Fishmonger May pet, which is the most adorable seal pet, and it's got a little hat on.
Yes.
It's so cute. It's so cute. Like I was writing this earlier, and then I happened to get to the bit where I scrolled the screen up to see the pet, and I just sat there. So it's really, really cute. So that's 2 subs. So that will support a streamer that you like. Silky Raven.
Yeah, exactly. Twitch.tv/SilkyRaven is a Twitch affiliated channel. That will help. Yes.
So that is from. So it's basically from when early access starts for a month.
Yeah. So from Thursday for a month. Yeah. I think they did this. I think they did this when The War Within launched as well. Yes. So this is not the first time they've done this.
Yeah. In addition, if you log in for 4 hours and watch 4 hours of any streamer who's streaming WoW content with their drops enabled from February the 26th at 10 a.m. PST to 6 p.m. GMT until March the 24th at the same times, you will receive the Cuddly Alliance Blue and the Cuddly Horde Red Gurgle plushie housing decor items.
Oh, my goodness.
Blue Murloc baby pet and a red Murloc baby pet.
Yes.
They are also absolutely adorable.
They're recolours of the green and red Murloc pet that was the Twitch drop that just stopped. Yeah. So yes, they're recolours of that in the Horde and Alliance colours. It's with the little buck teeth and everything. It's extremely cute.
So yeah, if you like housing, if you like cute housing items, if you like cute pets, Twitch drops are coming thick and fast right now.
Yes. So Blizzard are also, so this Zillow thing, like they're also experimenting with reaching out into other websites and other kind of joint ventures, including...
It's not Blizzard's fault.
No, it's not Blizzard's fault. Including Pinterest. So they made an announcement of a new way to share your in-game housing efforts with Pinterest called a Pinomatic Camera, an in-game feature where you could enable the social section of your gameplay options and you could pin screenshots to your Pinterest board. So this went live about 24 hours ago, and anybody who did this immediately got banned by Pinterest. Not quite sure what went wrong here. There was some kind of miscommunication between Blizzard and Pinterest about what would be happening. So at the moment, this feature is disabled. There's a toy and a feat of strength that will be attached to this ultimately, but at the moment, Blizzard and Pinterest are having some kind of behind-the-scenes conversation about like why this happened. But yeah, literally it went live, and then within about 5 minutes there was a whole load of people who were like, okay, well I just did the thing and my Pinterest account has been flagged for spam. So,
like the poor reps at Pinterest is probably like literally pulling their hair out, going, "Stop flagging things for spam." This
I don't.
We had organised.
I don't know. I don't know where the communication. Obviously, we've got no idea where the communication breakdown occurred, but there was some kind of thing happened. So for the moment, you can't do this thing. You can't get this feat of strength. You can't get these this toy. But hopefully, they'll get it working again soon, and then you'll be able to post your housing pictures to Pinterest. That'll be cool, and you'll get some stuff. And it'll be wonderful. Oops. Yes, never mind. Right, so here we are in the... Like, I was saying to somebody, it must have been Matt in the pub last night. Like, what... How are we suddenly in the last week of the War Within? Like, I feel like... It felt like it was kind of a while until midnight. Mm-hmm. And then I sort of blinked, and obviously my job is quite busy during the January season, so maybe it was just that, like, I missed... Maybe it was just because I sort of blinked through January. But, like, suddenly, midnight is next week! I don't know what happened.
No, it just... I mean, so this is the quickest cycle we've ever had on an expansion, so I think that has something to do with it. But also, I also think there hasn't been the sort of downtime, even if you've not been actively playing WoW as frequently as you might have done. I think there just hasn't been a lot of downtime in sort of things happening.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So it's done that thing where it's sort of snuck up on you again.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like that long ago that you and I were doing that sort of speculation of going, oh, I think it's coming sort of March, April, Easter time, because this was sort of when it doesn't feel like that long ago we were just in speculation land. And now we're in like, oh, it's here. Oh, like next week. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah, and also I obviously had the 2nd of March in my head, and I don't quite believe... I had a conversation about the horses today. So the horses are in a field at the moment that we're only allowed to use between the 1st of November and the 28th of February. And it's called the winter field. We're only allowed to use it in winter, and winter ends on the 28th of February, according to the landowner. And I said to Emma today, so they've got a couple more weeks in this field. And she was like, no, they've got one more week in this field. And I was like, oh... Yes, no, you're right. Caught out by February being the same length that February always is. And like, no, you're right. Next week, February stops. Yes, right. Good. Wonderful. So yes, I think it also being around the kind of February, end of February, like February being a really short month thing doesn't really help. But anyway, here we are with our War Within retrospective. How was it for you? What were your favourite quests? What were your favourite features and moments? And is there anything you would have liked to have worked differently? So what happened in the War Within? I was trying to think, like, what are the things that arrived with this expansion? So, like, warbands arrived with this expansion. Delves arrived with this expansion. What are the other big what were the other big things that happened? What happened in the story? I had a bit of a, like, what?
Well,
confused times.
Yeah. So, Xalatath tricked us into crashing Dalaran.
Yes, that's true. So we started the expansion by crashing Dalaran.
That's where we started.
Yes. We started the expansion by crashing Dalaran. So Dalaran is categorically no more. Unless somebody rebuilds it, or we go back in time, or something. But yeah, so we started the expansion by crashing Dalaran into the edge of the Isle of Dawn. Right, great.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and everybody was hearing. Because we'd all been hearing we're all getting strange visions, which we assume are from the world soul.
Yes.
And everyone's been getting together going, oh, have you been having funny, like...
Have you been feeling a bit weird?
Dark wine? I don't
Yes.
think so. I think we've all been saying the same. Yes. And they finally admitted that there was a sword. And so then we met the Earthen, and we had to convince them that we weren't terrible people.
Yep. Which took a little bit, but we did it.
Took a little bit, but then they were like, "Oh no, you guys are okay."
Yeah.
And then we had to.
So then we went down.
Have some fun with candles and kobolds.
Yeah. So then we went down to the Ringing Deeps, and we sorted some kobolds out, and we did some underground stuff. Then we went into Hallowfall, and we had the Belemeth.
That great reveal as you first enter
into that cavern.
And it just,
yes.
Oh, beautiful! And the first time you see the stone change.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And apparently there's a whole bunch of Arathi who fell off a ship and have been living underground.
We've just been living weirdly underground here. So we met Feyrin, and we Anduin found his way back to the light. Obviously the light had never forsaken him. He had merely lost his own way. But yeah, so we did all that stuff with Anduin. Then the Nerubians attacked.
Yes.
Oh my god. Everywhere. Oh no, bugs everywhere.
Giant can of raid. Quick.
Yes.
Raid involved.
Yeah, so they all attacked the wall, and then we had to go down to Bugland, and we made friends with some of the bugs.
We like some. Some of them we like, some of them we don't.
Yeah. And we had to make special friends with some of the bugs.
We did. And arachnophobia mode came in. That's a new thing.
Lobster mode came in. Yeah.
Lobster mode.
Oh no, we had lobster mode before, didn't we?
No, I think it came in.
I think we had lobster mode in the previous.
I'm gonna have to Google this now because I think it came in for this expansion. Because I'm sure I put it on when I was doing like alpha and beta for the War Within, and so I ran around turning it on and off.
Oh.
Did we have it for a Madrasil? Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Okay.
I think we had. I think lobster mode.
Had it longer then.
I think lobster mode is a bit older than War Within. But yes, I think lobster mode was a Dragonflight invention, but we certainly made good use of lobster mode in this expansion. There were many lobsters.
Patch. So it was introduced in patch 11.0.
Oh really?
So pre-patch.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's why it feels like it's a bit older. It was a pre-patch thing. But yeah, so we did some lobster mode. And we certainly there were a lot of bugs to be lobstered. So then we went and fought some Nerubians, and the Nerubians, like, there was some horrible reveals about the Nerubian queen and the
the previous queen, and that was all terrible.
Yeah, there was some terrible stuff and some Xalatath stuff, and we had a big showdown with Xalatath in the Nerubian, in the City of Threads. Then we had a slightly weird goblin hiatus.
Yeah, goblins and pirates and Vicrals oh my. Like, no, I don't quite Yeah, I have to say the only bit of the War Within that just felt like unconnected busy work is the Siren Isle.
Oh, I'd forgotten about Siren Isle. So yes, of course, there was a Siren Isle patch. So we did like well, I don't know. I didn't. I didn't know because the goblins were the next patch. Undermine was the next.
It is goblins that take you to the Siren Isle and set it all up with you.
Okay, sorry, you're just breaking up a little bit, but I didn't do a lot of the Siren Isle. I stopped playing for a little bit, but yes, I'd forgotten about the Siren Isle. So you had the circlet that wasn't a circlet, that was in fact a ring.
That was in fact a ring because apparently somebody what a circlet is.
Yes, so it was called a circlet, but it is in fact not a circlet. So there was a whole thing that, and then we did Undermine. We went to the Undermine. Which is weirdly sort of connected to the Ringing Deeps for some reason.
I mean, the Ringing is knew that Undermine was underground, so you know, there's a out of everywhere.
Oh dear.
More sense for them to connect there than in Hallowfall. I think it would have been weirder if it had connected off Hallowfall.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Sorry, I'm sorry that EJ's gone a little bit roboty. I'm sure it'll fix itself in a moment.
Still roboty?
Yeah, just a little bit on and off. Yes. So that sort of we went back to the Ringing Deeps and we battered through a wall, and weirdly that's where the Undermine lives. So we went to the Undermine, and it turns out the Undermine is everything you thought the Undermine would be, and we did like racing cars, and there's like a casino, and I mean it's just everything that you could possibly imagine that the Undermine might have been, and was sort of weirdly more fun than we thought it was.
Yes, and we finally managed to get rid of Gallywix.
And we finally managed to get rid of Gallywix. And then we went to Koresh. Then after we'd finished with the Undermine, we went back and we helped Venari out, and we found we revisited some Shadowlands lore, and went to Koresh, and went back to Tazavesh, and found and then did some stuff.
Team up with Xalatath, who
yes.
up to this point has we all knew that she was going to double cross us. It was
yes,
just
of
a
course. It was
question
a question
of
when
she was
yes,
going to, but also that we couldn't have made any progress without her. It was a real sort of like, okay, we know this is going to go terribly wrong at one point, but
yeah,
if we don't do anything with her, it's going to go terribly wrong now.
Yeah. So then we did loads of the questing in Koresh, and we had the phase diving, and we had the terrible eco dome. Sorry, we had the eco dome. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, we had delves, and we had warbands, and we had lore walking. Lore walking is a new thing this expansion.
Yes.
And we did more of the so the remix came back. Obviously that's not part of the expansion story, but like we had some remix back, and we had some so some of those other systems were sort of iterated on a little bit, but yeah, it feels like it's been quite a lot of stuff. What are your War Within highlights?
I think there was a second round of Plunderstorm in the middle of
I think that was probably
yeah. I have. And then obviously, we also had housing drops.
I'm not going to include housing too much as a War Within feature. Like, obviously, we have, it's kind of a midnight feature. But obviously, some of us have had it as a sort of early access thing. But what are your War Within highlights?
Delves. Now, I know that we all like to have a little moan about Bran. I've got quite a soft spot for Bran. I mean, apart from occasionally when he does put a potion I really need in the middle of something I can't stand in. Thanks, Bran, thanks. But Delves have just been amazing content, and I think it's been a true test of Blizzard listening to people saying, hey, I don't particularly like group content. I know it's an MMO, but I get, for some reason, doesn't matter what your reason is, for some reason I don't want to engage with that, but I would like something to do, please, because I really like the game. And they're like, okay, here's a thing you can do, and you can make it as hard as you like. Well, as hard as you like up to the top thing that we say.
Yeah.
But you can make this as hard as you like, or as easy as you like. And you can do it like whatever sort of whatever role you typically play. Yeah, they've just been. Like, when I saw them announced, I thought, oh, that's interesting. And once I got into them, I'm like, this is great. I can do these as many times, like as much as I want, as hard as I want. Even for characters that you perhaps don't play very often, but they still felt approachable with a character with a class that you didn't feel you knew quite as well. because you could put the training wheels on and just go in and go, oh, can I remember how to play this? And sometimes you were yes, and sometimes you're like, no, I shouldn't do that.
No.
And the only sort of penalty to it was your own time. The other thing is the fact that they were small bits of content. They don't have to. If you've only got half an hour, you can be like, oh, you know what? I'll go and run a delve, and you have got enough time to do that.
Yeah.
And they were included in the great vault.
Yes.
So in fact, you could make progress on gearing up, because whilst I know that there are some people who feel that there are certain types of gear that should only be available if you are cutting edge. Like, it doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter.
No.
You know, it's a slower way that somebody can, over time, if they want to put the time into it, get some shiny gear. And most of the time, I mean, everyone likes their gear to be bigger, because it means you can do more pew-pews, and everybody likes that. But also, a lot of the time, people want the different gear sets because they like a different colorway.
Yes.
And sometimes the really pretty colorways are locked away over in some of the larger.
Yeah, I think because Epic gear is purple, often the sort of bluey purple colorways are locked behind Mythic, which is really frustrating.
Unfortunate, because obviously that's the color scheme both of us enjoy.
Indeed.
So yes, I think I out of the whole thing, I've enjoyed the story. I love the fact that we're in this trilogy now, so they haven't had to rush the story. And I was thinking about the story earlier, because I know sometimes people complain about the story and that things aren't moving fast enough and blah blah blah. And I was likening it back to our D&D campaign. Because if you're playing a D&D campaign, I mean, I'm sure there are some people who perhaps get to meet their D&D teams every week and they're churning things out. But, you know, it's taken us 2.5 years to do this first campaign that we've all done together.
Yeah.
But at no point, I mean, sometimes we've had to go a month between a session because of life and stuff.
Yes.
But it hasn't impacted on the fact that we've been able to tell a story together and we've been involved in the story. And I sort of, you know, and obviously the very roots of Warcraft are D&D.
Yeah.
And so I have no problem with the rate at which they tell the story. I sometimes have a problem with them putting story in forms of media that are not the game.
Yes.
Especially if it's important story, but they've sort of moved away from that because they've realised that we don't like that. It's fine to put sort of extra stuff outside in case you're interested, but the actual story you have to put in the game.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're telling things at a good pace. I know at the moment there seem to be more threads than we know what to do with, but again, we're in the first part of a trilogy.
Yeah.
So, yes, there are going to be a whole lot of threads, and you know, certainly at the moment, I'm like, oh, we haven't heard about visions in a while.
No.
I mean, I hope we're going to hear about those, but I don't feel like they're going to be forgotten. I feel like it's just the pace of the story right now, but I'm fine about that. I was pleasantly surprised by how much I ended up liking the Undermine. Because when I first got there, I hated it.
Yeah.
It was loud and it was noisy, and the music, I thought I was going to have to actually turn off zone music, which I never do.
Yeah.
And by the end, I actually quite liked it, and I kind of missed the music when we first went to Koresh, and every time I pop back to the Undermine for something, like the music, and I'm like, yay! And it just makes me very happy. So yeah, unexpected Goblin Zone, like 12 out of 10. Thanks, Blizzard. Really enjoyed that. Even kind of enjoyed the car in the end once I worked out how to slow it down a bit. I mean, I haven't missed it not having it, but I kind of got used to, like, that's just the pace at which the Undermine works. That's fine. What else? Delves, things. I think those are probably the two biggest things out of everything. Like, I've enjoyed the raids. I think I enjoyed the Mana Forge most out of all of them. Just too many bugs in the first one. Even when I put on lobster mode, the aesthetic was not my cup of tea.
Yes, it was very buggy.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's what the delves, and I'm so pleased that delves are something that they are moving forward. I'm pleased. I have to say, I'm pleased that they decided not to change the hero that goes with you every season. I think it's the right call. I think you should have the same. And I don't even mind having to respec Bran and getting slightly different curios. I thought that made it a little bit more interesting. I mean, I won't be sorry to be traveling with Rarisa for a while. I think that's absolutely fine. I'm also pleased that not only is this a feature that they're taking forward, but they're also like iterating on it with labyrinths. That seems like a really obvious way to go with them. So I think that's great. But how about yourself? Because obviously you have been in and out a little bit, because obviously, you know, you've had moments where you haven't been able to literally have time to draw breath sometimes over the last, like, 18 months.
Yeah, the last 2 years of my life have been a bit weird. As we came into 2024, I was, made redundant about this time in 2024, and then did some contract work for a while, which was which was a very different thing, and then started working for my current company towards the end of that year. But then last year, 2025, I qualified as a chartered accountant. I was still doing exams in 2024-25. And then last year was a thing with the other organization that I'm a trustee of. So yeah, I've not had as much video gaming over the last 2.5 years as one might have hoped. I mean, obviously the story's been really good. The story questing is always incredibly on point. It's incredibly good. It is Blizzard's strength. In many ways, it's sort of unfortunate that they have an MMO, because it means that there's you have to do stuff in between the questing, which they're not always brilliant at. But I definitely agree that delves are a high point. I think delves have been a very successful form of content. Bran drives me absolutely bonkers, and I will be pleased to be traveling with Varisa. But it's good content. It's good content that you can do, you know, just with Bran or with other people as you see fit. It's nice to have that kind of flexible group size kind of content available to us, and flexible difficulty. You can choose which difficulty you want. I think it's been it's really, really interesting. I also second the kind of Undermine. Wasn't expecting to enjoy Undermine at all. Came to Undermine very late. That was the patch I sat out the Siren Isle. I sat out Undermine. I did the intro quest to the Siren Isle and then have not touched it since. Undermine, I've basically finished everything in Undermine. I did almost every achievement in the whole zone. Apart from the Chet quests. I didn't do any of those kind of repeatable quests, but did the whole of the rest of the zone. Enjoyed it much more than I was expecting. Really enjoyed Koresh. Thought Koresh was a very good, apart from the Ecodome. I mean, I finished the Ecodome, apart from one achievement that I'm just not worrying about. But I haven't done the fast races. But I didn't, the Ecodome was not a success. But the rest of Koresh I really enjoyed. I quite enjoyed phase diving, kinda. Generally speaking, I thought the storytelling was really strong. Lore walking was very good. I enjoyed the lore walking. Just did the kind of elf, silver moon, blood elf kind of lore walking a couple of weeks ago, and thought it was really good reuse of existing materials. Really good to have it kind of wrapped up so that you can see where the story is going. Thought that was really good. Warbands seems to have been a big success. So having everything kind of brought into an overarching kind of family unit for your characters seems really good. And having everything kind of war bound locked instead of like soulbound is really, really helpful. So I think that's been very successful as well. So overall, I think it's been a pretty good. I think it's been a pretty good expansion. I think it's. I think they've opened the door to a lot of mechanics that are pretty respectful of our time and pretty respectful of us as like busy human beings. I think it's kind of video games in general are in a really weird space. Like nobody's really making MMOs. It's not where the video game industry is right now. Obviously, there's been some news out of Xbox this week, which is potentially not great in terms of... so Phil Spencer has left Xbox this week. He has retired. And so has the other, like, Sarah, what's her name? Somebody else at Xbox. And they've handed it over to the AI people, basically. Oh,
dear.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on at Xbox, which will obviously have repercussions throughout the Microsoft kind of ecosystem. And obviously Blizzard are now part of the Microsoft ecosystem. There's the landscape... I mean, the landscape of everything is shifting on like AI is shifting everything, and some things it's probably shifting for the better, but quite a lot of things it's shifting for the worst, and that's unfortunate. And I think video games are and not just video games. I mean, if you look at, like, you know, I quite regularly go to the cinema. It seems to me like most people don't regularly go to the cinema, because when I go to the cinema these days, there's very rarely anybody else in the screen with me. I think the way we consume media in general is changing. I mean, maybe for the better, maybe for the worst, but like interesting, nuanced, small, like what I used to think of like art house films are no longer being made. They're not viable anymore. I can't go to the cinema and see French films, which I quite like. I can't go and see German films. Like, that's just not a thing I can do anymore. And I think this sort of, I think there are a lot of changes coming to the way that we consume media and the sort of games that are being made, and the sort of things that are kind of coming through. And I think this leaves Blizzard and all other gaming companies in a very difficult space. So it's kind of an interesting time to be thinking about media at all. Attention spans are very short. MMOs are not popular. And it's fascinating that Blizzard are in the middle of this three arc story. We're coming into the second act. So fascinating to see kind of where it lands, actually. But with all that kind of backdrop, I think it was a good expansion. Do I think it's my favourite expansion? No. But I think it was a pretty solid expansion. I think it had lots of stuff in it that was really good for people who can dip in and dip out again, which is a new type of gaming that Blizzard now have to kind of facilitate. Like, people are not, you know, when we think of what we used to do 20 years ago, when like every single evening you'd be playing for 4 or 5 hours, like 6-7 days a week. I can't do that anymore. I can't. I know some of you do, some of you are in our community do. I can't do that. I get a maximum of 2 hours, maybe 3 times a week, and it's a different pace of life. But I thought the War Within rewarded that pace, so I thought it was quite good.
Yes, it's easier. It's easier to get it to fit into different sort of lifestyles now. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, let's. We've had lots of comments on this from lots of the rest of you, so let us hear from Salmis.
This is Salmis reporting in for this week's topic, The World Soul Saga, Volume 1. For the opening patch, I enjoyed the stories in the Kaz Algar zones. The nature of the Earthen and their relationship with the Titans was a poignant story. The mystery of Belladar started out intriguing, and it feels like we may revisit this theme in the future. I also think we will be dealing with the Arathi in the future as well. Dells were a big hit, and a significant part of my play in this expansion. Siren Isle, a fun diversion, and provided some good group and solo activity. The story in Undermine was a good romp. I wonder if we will ever find a new purpose for the drive system in the future. The Galagio was an excellent environment for a raid, and I look forward to farming it later for decor. Koresh is such a fun, unique, and very purple environment, as is the Manaforge Omega raid. The ecological sideshow of Succession was probably best if done on the release schedule of one carbon copy episode a week. Now I'm glad it's done, and I have the rewards I wanted. Ecodome Aldani and the Archival Assault Delve were good puzzles to work out. The addition of player housing to the World of Warcraft is going to be remembered as a sea change. Creativity has always risen around the game in podcasts like ours, machinima, storytelling, roleplay, but this embrace of player creativity feels like both a culmination and the beginning of a new chapter. So much for the war within. Time to turn up the volume for midnight. Salmus out.
Very good. Yes, agree with all of that for sure. With sound effects this week, Salmus, very impressive.
I know. Awesome.
Daffyd says, overall the new warband functionality was fairly alt-friendly once you completed the initial main story quest on one character. My main frustration was them locking lower level alts out of the Undermine zone entirely. With scaling in place, I would have spent way more time in the zone leveling from 70 to 80. Koresh at least felt more disconnected from the other zones, but again had good alt recovery, allowing them to skip to the end of the campaign and collect their Reshi wraps. The catch-up campaign at the end did a good job of skipping through the zones, including Koresh, but was a bit buggy, and when it was completed it didn't unlock access to the actual zones, forcing you to repeat the intro quest. Oh no! I obviously don't have any alts.
Yeah.
EJ, did you have any experience of this?
Yeah, so I think it's like 7 out of 10 need to sort the bugs out. So the first time I did the catch-up campaign, there were some very hard locks in it. There were things that were just there were things I was reporting left, right, and centre because unless you did something quite creative, you couldn't unlock it.
Right.
Like there were NPCs that weren't zoning back in, so you couldn't hand a quest in, so you couldn't go any further, and things like that. But actually, they responded to those bugs very, very quickly. So by the time I put a second one through it to see if they'd sorted it out, like about a week after it had dropped, they'd sorted it out pretty quickly.
Okay. I do think in general, sorry, just as a bit of an aside, this has been a very buggy expansion. Like almost every single patch has launched with significant quality control issues. And they've laid off a lot of their like QA teams, and it doesn't seem like at the moment they've got workflows in place to deal with the lack of like capacity in those teams. So I do feel like almost every patch has sort of launched with a maybe come back in a week and see if they fixed everything and let the really like intrepid players like do all the bug reporting. It just which is annoying. It's a bit, everything feels a bit less polished than maybe it did. But then maybe I'm remembering with kind of rose tinted spectacles.
I mean, yeah, I honestly cannot remember how buggy previous things were. Like sometimes you remember the very big ones, but the sort of things that sort of trip you up for 5 minutes and then they sort them out within 24 hours, you don't tend to remember those ones quite as much, I think. So I do feel like when a problem was noted, it was dealt with really quickly. Yes, they have been very responsive to player feedback this time round. Yes, and also they put in quite early on this in this expansion, they put in alt skips quite quickly. Yes. Which I think is good. I think sometimes those alt skips I don't think do what they want them to do. Sometimes you take an alt skip and you expect it to put it at a sort of certain stage of the story, and it actually doesn't. or it'll skip you through the first bit. So there's a skip you can do, so you don't have to do the Fall of Dalaran again, and you can skip the thing. And then it's like, oh, do you want to skip this? Yes. And you expect it to skip you sort of up to where the story currently is, and it doesn't. And you're like, oh, this didn't skip me quite as much as I thought it might. So I think, I hope that they've learned some lessons about sort of, if you're going to put skips in, maybe you want to put several stages of skips in. It's like, do you want to do this bit, or do you just want to skip that bit as well?
Yeah.
Just to open up player choice even more. But I think it's a huge improvement on previous non-skippable things. If you want to do it on an alt, you've got to do all of this stuff again, and you're like, oh, sometimes that's fine. Sometimes I don't want to do all of that again. Thank you. Marie says, I loved all the little stories in the various zones and learning more about the Titans. I've always loved ethereals, so returning to Koresh was fun. The Isle of Dawn and Koresh were my favourite zones, and I liked Undermine more than I expected to, which was not at all.
Yes.
There was enough for me to do, but the pacing also allowed me to finally admit that I don't need to sub if I'm not actively playing. As for done differently, I'd have liked to see professions designed more how I like them, though I have a hard time defining what exactly that is, so...
I do think professions are a low point.
So I think this, because I've done a lot of Dragonflight, like the Dragonflight iteration of professions and then the War Within iteration. The War Within is 100 times better than the Dragonflight version because of the inclusion of the NPC patron orders.
Yes.
So you certainly can gain more experience because you can, there's much more knowledge experience that you can gain, and I feel like there were less recipes locked away in the very bottom of the trees. Not for all the professions. Some of the professions, there was still a lot of things that were locked away, but it just didn't feel quite as punishing if you were trying to level, especially if you wanted to try and unlock the trees.
Yeah, but I also feel
I
like
just finished unlocking my inscription tree for the War Within today. In fact,
I feel like Dragonflight's a really low point for professions, though. So like an increase, like saying professions are slightly better than Dragonflight, and I'm not sure I think they're much better than Dragonflight, is really kind of like, damning with faint praise.
I think they're a lot better because I think you can unlock. I didn't realise how many professions points were locked behind the patron crafting orders until quite late on. So had I realised that earlier on, I would have unlocked my professions trees much earlier than I have done on these. And I think one of the biggest criticisms that you and I have had about Blizzard in general, but especially about this patch or this expansion, has been the lack of instruction about when something new happens. And it's just like, the information's there, and it's like, is the information there, or is there information there somewhere where I can readily get hold of it?
Yeah, because I think having
a system like that needs explaining in game better.
Yeah, because having stepped away from the game, I actually don't have max level alchemy for the first time in, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years. My herbing is max level, but my alchemy is not, because I never seem to have the right things to do an alchemy thing. I've not done any patron work orders because I don't remember being directed to do them. Like the whole of professions, it just all seems really murky and really annoying, so I've just not done anything with it. Like if I'd gone to Wowhead and looked up how to do it, then I'm sure it would have been fine, but I've had very limited playtime, and I'm like, well, I'm just not going to bother with any of that. Which means for the first time probably for the first time ever, I don't have a max level alchemist. And I think that's down to not explaining things very well.
Yeah, the closest the game gets is that it will offer most of your professions like a weekly quest to complete 2 or 3 crafting orders. But if you haven't realised that the patron NPC crafting orders count for that, and also will give you professions knowledge if you pick the right ones, and they refresh several times during the week. There's quite a lot of nuance to that system. It works well, but unless you understand that it works well.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was only because it was literally only because about 6 months ago, Symes and I were having a conversation. He was like, "Oh, you do realise that you can get points that way, and that those quests, those orders, like refresh during the week." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you can get up to like 30 points a week that way." And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. No, I had no idea. No idea. Literally no idea. Yeah, I do think this has been a bit of a low point in terms of explaining things in game.
I also don't think that professions need an enormous talent tree.
No, I just
they've got three. They've got 3 enormous talent trees. Like, I don't think they need that.
No, I don't like this iteration of professions at all. Stilgar says, I think the expansion as a game was a success for me. This was mostly, if not solely, due to the addition of delves. It delivered the content and progression I could do at my own time, in my own speed, without having to worry about needing to step away. Now, if I look at the expansion as a whole, I'm left riddled, I'd say. We took Dalaran to a new shore because of, what were we doing again? Nerubians? Zalafeet? Question mark. Then we meet the Earthen and we helped them and met the Arathi and a mysterious crystal and met more Nerubians and did stuff, and then ended up in the Undermine and a whole different planet, and I honestly feel like I've ended up with more questions than answers. I guess the broker/ethereal story kind of wrapped up, brackets, sorry Anne, after meeting them in the Outlands, but other than that, I guess we'll see what's going to happen in the 2 towers. I mean the 2 elves, or something. Yeah, I do think...
certainly are at the point of the story where we've got a lot of questions.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think that it's been quite easy to separate the mechanics, like, from the storyline, which might be fine, might not be.
Graphic says, I really enjoyed this expansion, though it was formulaic in content. The environments and story made up for this with their differences. My favourite patch was the Undermine. It was something completely fresh. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. Like, the Undermine is like the...
yeah, it's the standard, the surprise favourite, so yes. Yeah, 100%. Nadriel says, I like the expansion overall. It built on the last one, which brought me back into active play. Xalatath is a much more compelling and nuanced villain than we've had in a while. And I'm not just saying that because of the VA.
Voice actor.
The voice actor. Okay, sorry. The follower dungeons and delves helped me do things as a single player. Even in a twist, I actually had people to do things after a long time solo. The one thing I would like to see is getting rid of the 3-tier system in crafting. Yes, preach it. The alchemy is hard enough already. The additional space taken up is just annoying. Yes, crafting, fucked up.
Yes. Yes, I mean, Xalatath, we haven't even really talked about Xalatath, and I think we should, because
she is an excellent
isn't
villain.
It delightful having a villain that actually feels more than just, I'm a bad guy doing bad shit.
Yeah.
It's like we sort of thought we know you, but we don't know you. But
No.
maybe we do know. Like, she's so much more nuanced, and it's not just all about her feet. And I know the feet has become a big thing, and it's hilarious. But she feels like a genuine villain, and I don't know where we're going with this. And
Yeah,
I
I mean,
enjoy that.
it's fascinating to not know where we're going to end up. Like, I feel like they've been experimenting with some really nuanced villains recently, like Ajara and that kind of thing. There's been a lot more kind of 3-dimensionality to the characters. I think they've done that really well, but it's really exciting to just not have any idea where we're going at this point.
Ams says, The War Within was a triumph for me. The introduction of delves was a masterstroke. I do think it's unfortunate it's still catered, or at least balanced, for groups over casual individuals. And the very initial delve difficulty, which now is long forgotten, was perfect. From a storytelling perspective, it was also great, with a great flow between the Isle of Dawn to the Ringing Deeps and culminating in Azkahet. You'll note I missed out Hallowfall. other than the introduction of Faerun, the entirety of Hallowfall and the Arathi was a snooze fest for me. I literally had no interest in the Arathi.
Oh, okay.
On the opposite end of the spectrum was the Earthen, and I loved absolutely every minute of it. From the division, the challenges, and I'm gonna cry. Hold on.
Oh
The
dear.
deeply sentimental farewell chain.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that questing with the little Earthen who has come to the end of his days.
Yes.
Oh.
And you have to go and help him sort of say goodbye and put all his stuff in order and like.
And the beautiful bit of storytelling, with some like one or more devs who has experienced somebody in their life who has got to a stage where, you know, whether it's dementia or it's Alzheimer's or a combination, and how it robs somebody of who they were. It was so. Oh.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm not going to cry. AMS continues, flawless on every front. Undermine 2 was great, but I did struggle with that zone because it felt loud, chaotic, and loud. And I think I landed at a time when it felt like the world was also too much. So Undermine is an area I spent minimal time in, and someday I'd like to go back and finish all the story beats I skipped over. But that's not a reflection on the zone, more it was just not for me at that time. I think that's fair enough. I think it is a very busy, loud zone. I totally get that. The random Storm Isle patch was like a giant, huh? And it felt like busy work. I'm not sure I understood why it existed beyond that. The mindless killing of bugs in Hallowfall also was odd, but it had some decent rewards at least. It was time passed, but I did enjoy the return of the N'Zoth visions, as I had skipped the BFA version.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it added value to the story.
No.
Koresh, however, was flawless. I loved everything about it, especially the story beat and the return of Venari, and the phase diving wasn't gimmicky in the way that I had feared. I enjoyed it very much, although there may be too much beekeeping.
Yes.
I did think the pre-patch was a misstep and a disappointing conclusion. It could have been better if they delayed the Arator and Varisa storyline patch and made that the core pre-patch content. Would have been better. All in all, 12 out of 10 from me, except a few niggles.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the Nightfall patch, but yes, that was also a thing.
The thing about that patch, and I think that patch was better than the Siren Isle, was that it pardon me, it arrived at a point in the expansion where people might have been like thinking, oh, what about my ult? So it was actually very convenient if you had an ult that you needed to gear up, so because you wanted to start doing some content in it. But if you didn't need to do that, you could just ignore it. And it wasn't like you weren't missing out. Like you could potter over there once going, what's this stuff? Oh, I don't fancy doing that. And you'd be fine.
Yes.
You wouldn't have missed out by not doing it.
Which is pretty much what I did. K-Lad says, as a primarily solo player nowadays, I was absolutely thrilled to get follower dungeons and delves in this expansion. Oh, follower dungeons. I'd forgotten.
Dungeons.
Yes,
oh my
of course.
God, those have been they've been so helpful, especially when you get those quests where they're like, you know, the quests in each zone where they want you to go to a and
you've
you're
got to
like,
go
and then I've got to find a group. No, you don't. You just take Captain Garrick with you.
Just take Captain Garrick and then tell her to follow you, and Kayla continues, plus being able to see at the end of a story via story mode raid option now. Oh my god, story mode raid options. Yes, that was also incredible.
Yes, Blizzard, absolutely love it.
Yes.
I do think they did have to retune the Mana Forge one, because initially that was like, I was like, oh, this is not story mode. Blizzard, you need to retune this. This is not story mode.
do Dementius on story mode when he was less story mode.
Yes.
And it was a thing. Kayla continues, yes, rather than going back in a couple of years when I've out-leveled and I can solo it, was much nicer. I'm not all about the gear, so being able to see the story is important to me. I've enjoyed the remix events through Pandaria, though Pandaria remix held my attention much better than Legion did, despite me enjoying Legion when it first came out more than Pandaria. I think I leveled 12 ults with Pandamix and only 3 with Lemix. I'm not all that enthused about the pre-patch event in the Twilight Highlands. It's been a pain in the what's it to level any lobies. Oh no. Mostly because Blizz apparently decided the various level groups would get their own phased version of the zone.
Oh no, Blizzard, no.
So when I took a level 15 out of there were never more than 2 or 3 players in the zone killing anything, and it was impossible to get the boss events done. No! And the boss is killed within the time limit. No! Oh, I had no idea that was happening. I'm so sorry. When pairing with a level 80, we were still phased separately, and when we tried syncing, Corin Wolf was suddenly much less effective. Oh no. Which came as a bit of a shock to him. Yes, I'm sure it did. I gave up on trying to use it to level and went back to Dragonflight. I did the weekly a few times on various alts to get enough tokens to buy several decor items and then stopped going out there. No, Blizzard, the one point of a pre-patch event is to level your alts. Oh, I had no idea that was happening. I'm so sorry.
Oh dear. I wonder if that weirdly has something to do with the fact that there's just so much weird phasing that happens in the Twilight Highlands.
The Twilight Highlands is not great, yeah. Yeah.
There's so much weird zoning that happens in that zone.
Yeah.
Whilst I'm going to agree, it was
definitely a damp squib in the
Yes.
terms of pre-patch events.
But I kind of wonder if, because there were so many UI and class changes that were coming in at that time, we actually needed something that was very straightforward, because we were all trying to work out how to play our characters again and how to cope without all of our add-ons.
Yeah, maybe.
I would really
yes.
hope that a future patch is not as much of a damp squib as this one. I think it would be the worst one on record.
Yeah.
Carl in chat has gone, charge in! What the fuck is this damage?
Yeah.
That's not normally
It's
the
not
paladin
helpful.
experience.
No.
And talking of Corin Wolf, he says, overall a good one. There are weird bits in the story, Storm Isle being the weirdest, but from what we know, the pivot to the World Soul happened after the War Within development has started, so it's sort of explainable. Delves are brilliant, both for solo and for gearing. Follower dungeons have been a huge hit for Kayla, allowing her to see the dungeons without having to wait for her pocket tank or pug. Lemix just didn't land for me, not sure why. Raids, enjoyed them, and they do include some bosses which are nicely technical from a tanking perspective rather than just tank and spank. Warbands, thank fuck for that.
Yeah, warbands are a bit of about time, really.
Oh, God, yes.
Pastomat says, I feel it was a great success. I love warbands, very, very handy. I love delves, a great adventure for solo progress. I like the stories, but they seemed a bit disjointed. First proto-dwarves, then a goblin story, then ethereals? ? I think my favourite quest was the one where you helped the earthen with dementia. I had to log off for a while after that. Yep, seems like that's a popular high point.
Cheryl says the first half of the expansion was pretty good, except for the challenging level of Mythic Plus being too steep. I thought delves were entertaining as both group and solo content. Unfortunately, medical things have kept me away from the game, except for a brief foray into Lemix.
Yes.
Sorry that
We're
you
sorry for that.
had that experience, and I hope that you get space and time soon.
Finally, Messer says, I played a little at the beginning of the War Within, but took an extended WoW break with the birth of my son. Congratulations,
Yay.
that's the best reason to do that.
Absolutely.
With a good consistent sleep schedule for my son, I realised I was getting some free time back and restarted playing Season 3 in the evenings and weekend nap times. My favourite things have been warbands, allowing me to play different characters and delves, being able to collect the mythic gear sets solo. I do think the War Within will be looked back upon as one of the better expansions, and Midnight looks to continue and improve. Yes, 100%. I think it's I think there's a lot of evergreen systems in this expansion, and I'm looking forward to them carrying those on for sure.
Absolutely. And who knew we would all like a goblin zone as much as we did?
Who knew we would all enjoy the Undermine? Yeah, I mean the car was terrible, but the zone overall was pretty good.
It really was. It really was. Thank you, Blizzard. Well, if you're enjoying the show, please would you consider leaving a review or a like on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. We're hoping to try and grow our audience a bit this year, and we'd love you to help us by doing that so we can reach out to new people. Come and join our Discord channel over at bit.ly/ggw-discord. You can also watch our live show on Sundays at 8 p.m. London time or midday Pacific over at twitch.tv/silkyraven.
I think we are allowed to publicly now say that we are also part of the WoW Ambassadors program. We will be giving you more details about this in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, we are very excited to be part of this next evolution on the Blizzard journey. Right, we're a little bit over time, so let's crack on and hear what Cassunda has been up to this week.
Greetings and salutations, my friends. 'Tis I, Cassunda. An inquest was being held into the activities that had happened. Lady Proudmoore, myself, a few others. I had basically just outlined everything the Cloaks have been doing that I've been dealing with. Lady Proudmoore was incredibly shocked that there were a group such as this in Azeroth, and no one had stopped them before. But as I said, they worked surreptitiously. It was by pure chance I had got involved in their operations, you know, in how do I put this, a distractory way, stopping them. It was, well, as I said, quite a shock to all. Lord Jarden just looked there, looking completely lost. As he put it, he didn't even know anything like this had happened, and he'd been around longer than Lady Proudmoore. People were being called forward. One of them was to be the guard captain, the one that had killed Sarge. He didn't arrive. People were sent to his chambers to find him. One of them came running back to fetch me. You need to see this, sir. Well, I ran as fast as I could. Luckily, I have quite a turn of speed on me, so I could keep up with those with longer legs. He was hanging in his quarters. At first, the note they found in his hand, or under his hand, they thought to be a suicide letter, a confession. But when they opened it, they summoned me straight away. It read, "Dear Master Clankson, I am not going to ask if you are well, because I don't really care. You have been a thorn in our side for too long. When this man told me that you had come upon him dispatching the sergeant, I knew it would only be so long before you would want to talk to him. So I've got rid of some loose ends. I'm not going to say, see you soon, because you won't. You have been a thorn in our sides for too long. You will not see me coming. You will not interfere in our plans any further. After all, you wouldn't want the children to suffer. Keep out of our way, and be the good little pest you are, and go and live with the other vermin. You and your kind will soon be under our control. I look forward to making you do all the jobs that no one else wants to. This was a threat. He was now threatening the children. No one threatens my children. Well, I say he. Turn of phrase. Whoever this is has threatened my children. I am going to find out who you are, and I am going to make sure that I make a spectacle of you. What you, in this letter, think you are doing to scare me off is adding more fuel to the fire. I am going to make every use of my resources. Every spy network, every rogue, every street child. I'm going to find out who you are. And it'll be you that doesn't see me coming. After all, I was the Black Rose. Before that, I had a different profession. One you don't know about. I will be seeing you.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh dear.
They shouldn't have threatened the children.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
bad times are coming. Oh
Oh
dear.
my goodness. I mean,
Oh my goodness. Yes. Right.
wow.
Well, okay. We will wait with bated breath to hear Cassunda's update
Yep.
next week.
Yep. Yep, fuck around and find out.
Yeah,
Indeed.
exactly,
Yes, you're
exactly.
right, chat. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Right, weeks in gaming. I have not really done any gaming this week. So, EJ, how has your week been?
Oh, I have managed to do enough reclamation rig to turn my shirt into a
Hey!
thankfully. I'm
Thank
so
God.
pleased to have that done.
Oh,
yes,
good grief.
I've done that. I spent a lot of time in Mechagon because I'm still missing 2 of the little minis from there.
Oh, yeah. I'd forgotten about those
I
until I
just
went
got
about there
a
the other
bunch
day.
of characters sitting over there, just trying to get the boxes every day. And that's sort of, and I've also I have finished my horde house.
Oh.
I redid the garden. I redid the garden because she unlocked the medium-sized house. So I've put the medium house in the way I like it. I've unlocked. I've done the garden. I've finally managed to. I had a corner in my dining room that I hadn't managed to work out what to do with, and I've managed to I've made a coffee bar.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you, Brummels. I made a coffee bar. So,
Lovely.
So yes, my horde house is done. Tick. Which means I can start thinking about my second property.
Right. Yes, of course.
So yes, that's sort of what I've done. I'm just sort of ticking a few things over. It's a really weird time because there's nothing really. Like occasionally I look at things and I'm like, yeah, but there's no point in worrying about gear because in a couple of weeks, that's all in less than a couple of weeks now, that's irrelevant because I'll be replacing shiny purples with greens, which is always the fun thing about a new expansion. You're like, oh, I'll put this green thing on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of pootling around doing stuff like that. I'm just sort of what I am going to do this week is I'm going to go through the bags on the characters I play and go, okay, what is this shit in my bags? How much of it? And I'm going to think about it very carefully because I'm going to look at it and go, could any of this bite me on the arse later? Because I might need it for buying something.
Yeah.
Now we've got much bigger banks. I can now put some of that stuff in the bank.
Yeah,
and it's
just
fine.
throw it in the war bank.
So yeah, that's my big thing is I'm going to sit down and just rationalize everybody's bags and get everybody set up with and maybe sell off. There's probably some bits and bobs in the bank that I can sell off to make some space. So yeah, that's where my gameplay is at the moment, is sort of tidying and pootling around.
Yes. A little shadow just popped up on the sofa behind you. Little Bell has just
Outside,
arrived.
she's cold.
Oh, is she cold? She's been outside.
Must have been in the garden. 'Cause she's a little
Oh,
cold.
well, that's a bold move right now.
I don't know if they've had fishes yet. Oh, they have had fishes.
Oh.
Okay, so
Oh,
she's
okay.
not hungry. She's just
She's
arrived.
not
There she
hungry.
is.
She's just, yeah. There she is. There she is. Right. Let's hear what Salmas has been up to.
Hello, Raven and EJ. This is Salmus, the alchemical rogue, reporting in for my week in WoW. Friends and family rampage through the Twilight Highlands and the Nightwell for decor and coupons. Rexual Healing hung out in voice chat while we were puttering around pursuing our own goals. I finally recruited enough druid treants in the Dreamweaver class hall to get access to my Night Elf Moonwell Arch. My most used title is Salmus of Darnassus, so I really wanted this iconic piece, and I'm thinking of where best to show it off. We're getting ready for midnight soon. Hope my mount doesn't turn into a pumpkin. Thank you all. Salma's out.
Yes, just these last final things to finish off in these last couple of days, and then midnight will be here at the end of the week. Coronwolf is pootling around in WoW at the moment with an occasional Mythic Plus for the guild. He also thought the Liadrin short utterly nails being a Tankardin. Want to know what it feels like in combat? Just watch the fight scene. Yeah, it was. As we said earlier, it was epic.
So good. Ping, ping. Marie has reached a pause point in Pharaoh and has resubbed to WoW, so she's finishing up February's trading post and is getting ready for midnight.
Still has no dildo mount from the love event. Oh dear, but Lady Luck has shot on him with Belladar's spawn mount dropping.
Yay.
He's also completed the Khazalgar pet family achievement whilst trying to complete the trading post, which he's found a bit tricky this month.
Yeah, I have to say I found it a little bit tricky this month.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near it. I'm nowhere near it. I mean, I know I've not been playing a huge amount, but usually it ticks out. Like I do quite a lot of delves, and usually it sort of ticks over, and it like I'm nowhere near it this month.
Yeah, no, it did feel like hard work this year. I do have this month. Nadriel has played WoW, Warframe, and is giving the DLC for Fallout 4 another go.
And finished the old world pet battler, got a couple of drops and was sitting at 1,789 pets. So they spent 10k on the auction house and got 11 new pets. So they've achieved their 1,800 pet goal before midnight. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of pets. Congrats.
Excellent. Good news. Well done, you. I should remember you as somebody else that I can post spare pets to, because I quite often Raven will log in and find.
Yes, I find all sorts of
full
like
pets.
screaming pets in my mailbox is a relatively common sort of achievement. Who's been posting me stuff? It's like there's a bottle of wine or a bottle of beer from the Brew of the Month club.
The Brewfest people.
From the Brewfest people, and then there's just like a gaggle of like screaming animals. You're like, oh, okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Cheryl finished Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and also played Minecraft and Power Wash Simulator 2.
Nice.
They also spent 3 days in New York City, saw
Oh.
Chess and Maybe Happy Ending on Broadway, had some really good food, and decided that Minneapolis needs a handful of bodegas.
Chess is so good. I didn't know Chess was on Broadway at the moment. I love New York so much.
I'm just hungry after reading that.
Oh, I love New York so much, and obviously cannot go there anytime soon.
No.
Pastamat's girlfriend has come back to WoW, so they've been doing the raids in Twilight Highlands together. They're doing the raids.
That should say raids. I don't know why it's
Raids?
changed it to rates.
Okay, doing the
Rares. No, it should say
Res,
rares. That's what it
right,
should
okay, I was
say.
like,
Rares,
raids?
not
Res. Okay, doing the res in Twilight Highlands together, getting unused alts leveled. He's also been trying for the mounts in the Crown Chemical Company. He's purchased a Steam Deck, for his girlfriend, who has to go to hospital 3 times a week for dialysis. Oh no. The price of the deck jumped by $150 in the few days they were deciding if they really wanted it. Damn AI is ruining everything. Oh, that's super annoying. Yes, chip prices are through the roof. That sucks big time.
But welcome back to WoW, Pastor Matt's girlfriend.
Yeah, and
the hospital visits are
hope dialysis kind of goes okay. Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Absolutely. Messer wants to unlock all the available warband camp sites before midnight arrives. He's finished the Undermine achievements to unlock the Galagio this week, and he should complete the Freywold Spring this coming week.
Oh, fantastic. Finally, Trey has played some WoW to get the new items in the holiday events and got the new butterfly, but his Tauren looks out of proportion on it.
Dear.
And he's also played some Borderlands 4. I'm not sure the new butterfly mount was intended for Tauren.
Now, next time I log into game, the first thing I've got to do is log into a Tauren.
Oh my god!
Butterfly mount and see what it looks like.
I don't have a butterfly mount, but I sort of want one now. I have done the chemical company a few times. I've not been lucky on it yet. I desperately now want a Tauren on a butterfly. That's the only thing I want in game.
I'm going to go both up to both my Taurens and change their mounts to being the butterfly because that just sounds funny.
Fantastic. Oh, well, here we are at the end of the show. If you want to get in touch, the best place to find us is on Discord at bit.ly/ggw-discord. We would love for you to give us a follow over at Blue Sky at GGW Show or subscribe to us on YouTube at GGW Show. If you enjoyed the show, please drop us a like or a follow or a little review on your platform of choice and help other people find us too.
Next week, early access will be happening. This is your no spoiler reminder again. No spoilers on our Discord.
No spoilers on our Discord. No.
Unless you're in the spoiler channel, and then that's obviously
where the
it does
spoilers
exactly
live.
what it says on the tin. And if somebody goes to the spoiler channel and gets spoiled,
that's their fault. Yes, exactly. Yes.
So next week, midnight is upon us. So we want to know how you like to approach the beginning of a new expansion. Do you have little like rituals? Do you take time off? Do you like to group up with friends? Do you like to do it solo? Do you just ignore all media for a while? Are there particular snacks that you have to have when you're getting down to it at the start of an expansion? So tell us all of your little rituals around the start of an expansion, all right?
Yes, and we will see you again in 7 days when some of us will be in midnight. That's just really messed up. I can't believe it's arrived here so quickly. Thanks very much for listening this and every week. We'll see you in 7 days. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.